Hi friends, I just would like to share with you some personal consideration after meeting Guy Davidson in a meetup yesterday. And for you that you don't know, Guy Davidson is an eminent figure in the C++ world with wealthy experience in programming, writing standard library proposal, and regular speaking at C++ conferences. It's very interesting because he spent 25 years in the company, created Assembly, and he was sharing a lot of interesting facts and experiences. He just concluded a 25 years tenure at Creative Assembling, and he was pivotal in shaping the technological direction of the company. Known for his significant contribution to the C++ community and his passion for game development, Guy is a seasoned speaker who engages the audience with rich insights and experience. So it was very nice for me to see how the C++ is still relevant in this modern day, especially because it was one of my favorite languages since I started my when I was studying in the university, and is still very relevant worldwide, especially for very important tasks. He shared his experience with Rugby World Cup '95 and all this game development that was made by the you probably know the Creative Assembly, an England-based company that created not only Rugby World Cup '95 but also very successful titles like Rome Total War, Empire Total War, Napoleon Total War, and he was involved also in the famous Shogun Total War that became very popular during the pandemic because it was released for free in the Steam platform. Also, this company was acquired by Sega and was working a lot with very interesting and very well-known and reputable company. It was very interesting to see his lesson learned from the standard, for the way how to work, and he shared a lot of insight how to create a successful product. For example, was very important to say how important is code review, especially made by in a free person by the developer, the team leader, and another peer. Altogether, you can read the code and understand if it's a good code or you can improve. Because as human, we all make mistakes, and we would like to learn from each other in a way, like if there is some repetitive part, instead of copy and paste, why we don't move outside in a shared library. And this makes a lot of sense, especially with a modern way like objective programming, but it's not taken for granted if you think about the past, because ending up in a spaghetti code was more common in the past, because in the end of the day there is a big compiled file is shared with us that was more than 25,000 lines of code, and you can imagine just the time to compile this stuff. He was sharing with us that it took 2 hours just to do all the compilation, all the compiling task, and it was very interesting to see there was a technology to divide in small chunks the compiling task, and from 2 hours you can divide in multiple machines and get up to 5 minutes. And can you imagine, every time you build your software, you wait for 2 hours just for the release. It was doing overnight, so every time there was a compile error, you got the result the other day. It must be very frustrating, especially with a tight timeline for a game development. And for me, it was very fascinating because most of these titles were created such a small team, 20 people, with some 4 artists, and the other were a developer, and very committed. And it's very interesting how a team of 20 created a worldwide success video game. It's very interesting also to see how title like Total War Home was most successful game of Sega and Steam, and this guy really know how to program and make the things interactive. And well, of course, it was very nice to see that a video game was released for free during the pandemic, especially Shogun 2. That was, yeah, probably not the latest version, but was very interesting. And it's very interesting his active contribution to the community and how he shifted from like a day-to-day job to more like sharing his knowledge to the community, and how important is to adherence to the ISO standard of C++. Also how the standard changed, because he was sharing with us some experience, like from 2005 to 2011 the C++ adopted new standard. And this is very interesting to see. We can report in our different languages, and it is very, very interesting because more or less every technology is reaching out the mature level, and we are taking for granted, but from that level will be another level, another version, and we complying to the new version is quite challenging sometimes. And also was sharing how important it is to use automation. Just for example, for create an image and deploy as a texture in the video game, they create a tool called Bob, just to that simplify the activity of the artist. They don't need to actually adapt side by side for the images. They can focus on the creative task, and then they can deploy automatically in this way. Also the campaign editor and all these type of things that make sense in a video game, but it wasn't taken for granted. And also another thing is the continuous integration. We are so used that every time we commit some code in a shared repository, there will be an automatic build, so it will be easy to identify if this piece of code is breaking the change or adding new features. But back at the time it was not granted, and this is very interesting how the industry evolved, and is so much relevant nowadays. I'm thinking that continuous integration, continuous deployment is part of my day, but it wasn't in the past. So very, very interesting that one small idea changed so much in the world. And in the end of the day, I was fascinated to hear about the C++ language, how important it is for the world, in our embedded devices, in our day-to-day activities. So it's definitely a language that is alive and is active maintained, and there's many people that are working on this type of technology. So I just wanted to share with you all of these lessons learned doing this great presentation from Guy Davidson, that he shared 25 years of contribution to Creative Assembly, and then how he continue to contribute in the C++ community. Now we say that he's flying to St. Louis and many conferences worldwide. So if you have opportunity, meet with him, and for me it was like a very great moment to check out, especially on this type of technology. Thank you for watching, and let's automate more. Bye!